You were taught that being open makes you trustworthy. That lie is exactly why you're controlled. You think people can just tell you're a good person. They can. And that's why they're not careful with you. You leak your thoughts. Your face translates your emotions. Your tone confesses your fear before your mouth even opens. And you call it honesty. But power doesn't reward honesty. Power rewards unreadability. Because the moment someone can read you, they can steer you, they can bait you, they can trigger you, they can predict you, and predictable people don't get respected. They get managed. You already feel this at work. You explain too much. And it makes you look unsure. In relationships, you overcommunicate. And it makes you look needy. With family, you defend yourself. And it makes you look guilty. And every time, you walk away thinking, why do I keep getting treated like this? Because you're easy to map. This comes from Machiavelli's The Prince and modern psychology. The world doesn't respond to what you mean. It responds to what it can use. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn the silent power move that makes people hesitate before they test you. You'll get 6 principles, each one more dangerous than the last. And if you actually apply them, you'll stop being the person people figure out, and you'll become the person they can't control. Listen carefully, this decides your future. Principle 1. If they can predict you, they can own you. Machiavelli understood something most people refuse to accept. People don't fear good men. They fear uncertain outcomes. The prince doesn't survive by being loved. He survives by being difficult to plan against. Here's the psychological truth. The brain hates uncertainty. When someone can't predict you, they feel unstable around you. That instability forces respect, because they don't know what move will cost them. Like your life. The coworker who always agrees. Everyone dumps work on them. Predictable. The friend who always forgives. Everyone crosses the line. Predictable. The partner who always explains. Everyone argues until they win. Predictable. You think consistency makes you relying. No, it makes you a resource. Strategic rule. Never let your patterns become public property. Stop responding the same way every time. Stop always being available. Stop always being the bigger person on schedule. And this is where most people destroy themselves. They hear, be unpredictable, and they act loud, chaotic, emotional. That's not power. That's instability. Power is controlled. Unpredictability, silence, timing, restraint. Type, I'm not predictable in the comments. Not for me, for you. Principle 2. The more you explain, the weaker you look. Machiavelli's world was full of men who talked themselves into graves. Explaining is begging for understanding, and begging signals a lower position. Psychological truth. When you over-explain, you hand people a menu of motives to attack. You give them openings, and the more words you use, the more you sound like you're trying to convince yourself. Think about the moment you've been accused of something unfair. You rush to defend. You list reasons. You provide evidence. You speak faster. You get emotional. And what happens? The other person relaxes. Because now you're performing. Now you're chasing their approval. Now they're the judge. Here's the trap nobody sees. Innocent people often sound guiltier than guilty people. Because guilty people know one thing: if they stay calm, others will do the emotional work for them. Real life example. At work, your manager implies you dropped the ball. You start explaining your workload, your timeline, your obstacles. Now you sound like excuses. Now they feel entitled to push harder. In relationships, you say, let me explain what I meant. Now you've accepted that your meaning requires permission. Strategic rule. Replace explanation with a controlled statement. Say less, slower, cleaner. Understand your perspective. That's not accurate. I'm not discussing this right now. We can revisit this when it's productive. No anger, no pleading, no extra details. Most people fail right here because they confuse silence with weakness. They think if they don't speak, they lose. But silence forces the other person to fill the gap. And what they fill it with is usually fear. Comment. I speak less if you've been killing your power with explanations. Principle 3. Emotional transparency is a donation to predators. Machiavelli didn't need you to be cruel. He needed you to be realistic. The world is full of people who don't want to understand you. They want access to you. Psychological truth. Predators hunt signals. Neediness, guilt, anger, validation seeking. When your emotions are readable, you become a control panel. They press the right button, you react, and they collect the outcome. You've seen it. Someone makes a joke that isn't a joke. They watch your face. Someone cancels on you. They watch how quickly you forgive. Someone gives you mixed signals. They watch how long you chase. Someone disrespects you slightly. They watch if you swallow it. They're not confused. They're testing your boundaries. Real-life example. Family gatherings. The relative who needles you. They do it because you show them it works. Your irritation is their proof of control. The moment you react, they own the frame. Strategic rule. Stop broadcasting your inner weather. Your face is not a public diary. Your tone is not a confession. Your feelings are not a vote. You don't have to be cold. You have to be private and listen carefully. This next part separates the weak from the powerful. The goal isn't to feel nothing. The goal is to feel everything and show almost nothing until it serves you. Type, "I'm private," in the comments if you're done being emotionally hacked. Principle 4. The silent power move is this. Controlled ambiguity. This is the move that makes you impossible to read. Machiavelli's prince doesn't reveal his full intentions. Not because he's evil, because revealing intentions makes you predictable. And predictable people get outplayed. Psychological truth. Ambiguity creates projection. When you don't reveal what you think, people start guessing. They project their fears, their desires, their insecurities onto you. And once they're projecting, you're holding the psychological steering wheel. This is why the calm person in a room feels dominant. Not because they're loud, because no one knows what they're thinking. Everyday situation. Someone insults you subtly. The weak response is to defend. The average response is to insult back. The powerful response is to pause, look at them, and say nothing for 2 seconds longer than comfort allows. Then you say, "Interesting." Or, "Is that how you want to show up right now?" That's it. Now they don't know if you're offended, amused, or planning something. Their brain starts running simulations. And while they're busy simulating, you're in control. Strategic rule. When pressured, become vague on purpose. Not evasive. Not scared. Vague. "I'll think about it. Maybe. We'll see where." This creates a psychological fog. And inside that fog, people hesitate. This is where good people lose everything. They think clarity is always virtue, but clarity is only virtue when you're safe. In power dynamics, clarity can be a leash. Comment, "I use ambiguity." Do you understand what that just did? Principle 5. Respect is built with consequences, not kindness. Machiavelli was blunt. It's safer to be feared than loved if you can't be both. Most people hear that and imagine violence. That's not what it means. It means this. If there is no consequence for crossing you, you are not respected. You are tolerated. Psychological truth. Humans test status constantly, not consciously. Instinctively, they poke, they push, they see what they can take, and if they can take without cost, your status drops. Real life example, a friend who forgets to pay you back. They're not forgetting, they're measuring your self-respect. A coworker who always interrupts you. They're not excited, they're ranking you below their urgency. A partner who dismisses your boundaries as dramatic. They're not misunderstanding, they're negotiating your limits. Strategic rule: make disrespect expensive. Not with rage, with removal. You don't argue your boundary, you enforce it. You don't beg for respect, you withdraw access. Short line, clean action. If you speak to me like that, this conversation ends. And then it ends. In a lecture, no moral speech, just consequence. Most people fail right here because they want to be seen as good. But goodness without boundaries is exploitation with a smile. Type. Respect requires cost in the comments if you're ready to stop donating. Yourself. Principle 6. The highest form of control is letting them reveal themselves. Machiavelli knew that the fastest way to defeat an enemy is to let them expose their strategy. But people talk when you give them space. People confess when you don't rush to fill silence. Psychological truth. When you react, you reveal. When you stay still, they reveal. Most people walk into conversations trying to prove something, trying to be understood, trying to be liked. That's low status behavior. High status behavior is observation, extraction, patience. Real life example. A confrontation. Someone accuses you. You want to defend, but you don't. You say, "Tell me more." Then you stay quiet. Now, they have to keep talking. They'll exaggerate. They'll contradict. They'll expose what they actually want: control, tension, dominance, and emotional reaction. Or in someone sends mixed signals. You don't chase clarity. You go quiet. You watch what they do when they don't have you. Strategic rule. Ask one question, then become still. Let silence do the interrogation. Here's the trap nobody sees. The moment you try to fix confusion, you become the one being trained. But when you allow confusion to exist, you force the other person to carry the discomfort. And the person who can carry discomfort controls the room. Comment: I observe first. If you're done being baited, now put all of this together. You were never losing because you lacked kindness. You were losing because you were readable. Your goodness was obvious. Your boundaries were negotiable. Your emotions were available. Your reactions were predictable. Your explanations were endless. So people didn't see you as dangerous. They saw you as safe to use. Now, you understand the game. Predictability is weakness. The perception beats intention. Weakness without boundaries is a trap. Respect is earned through strength, not kindness. Power rewards control, not emotion. And that silent power move, the one that makes you impossible to read, is controlled ambiguity. It's the discipline of not giving people the full map to your mind. It's the refusal to perform your inner world for an audience that hasn't earned access. From this point forward, ignorance is no longer an excuse, because once you see this, you start noticing it everywhere. You see how quickly people lose respect when they over-explain. You see how predators fish for reactions. You see how nice becomes a currency others spend. You see how the calm person wins, even when they say nothing. This is the difference between survivors and victims. Victims react. Survivors choose. Victims seek approval. Survivors set terms. Victims broadcast. Survivors conceal, and concealment isn't cowardice. It's strategy, not Everyone deserves the truth. Not everyone can handle it, and not everyone will use it cleanly. So you stop being easy to read. You stop being easy to manipulate. You stop being the person people manage. You become the person they have to study, and most people are too lazy to study you. So they leave you alone, or they respect you. If this made you uncomfortable, good. It means you're waking up. Here's your challenge, and it matches the title exactly. Use the silent power move that makes you impossible to read. The next time someone pressures you for an answer, don't explain. Use controlled ambiguity. The next time someone tries to provoke you, don't react. Let them reveal themselves. The next time someone disrespects you, don't argue. Make it expensive. And if you're not willing to do that, be honest with yourself. You don't want power. You want comfort. And comfort is what keeps you controllable. Declare it below. Publicly, type, I choose strategic strength.